answered, and then we know in second chapter in detail, and the third, fourth, fifth, and all. So now in 11th chapter, he wanted, he wanted to see Krishna's. So on the Vishwarupa Darshanam, I would like to say. So he showed that, and at the end, see, earlier it was, for him it's a wonder, Acharyam. Then slowly it turned to, fear, and then let's see how he reacts. So Krishna's answer for Arjuna's grief, for not involving or withdrawing from the war, Krishna says, withdrawal from the war is based on raga dvesha, and fighting the war is dharma based. Surrendering to dharma is like surrendering to will of God, which is the law of karma. Will of God is law of karma. So but other point is saving the society from adharma is Kshatriya's duty, and he being the prince, it is Kshatriya's duty. So dharma-based action may be sometimes painful. So further, these are the things Krishna explained to Arjuna. So in verse 32 and 33, Krishna explains the truth which can convince Arjuna why he must get involved in the war. So Arjuna, what he asked, he said, tell me who you are, because after seeing the Vishwarupa and all, he got the really who you are. So Krishna answers, Kalosmi, I am time. So all the warriors, including Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and all others, have already been killed by me, because their time or prarabdha is over. So he says, he tells Arjuna, be an instrument in the scheme of time, that is the will of God. Here God is, he already told me, Kalosmi, I am time. So you must surrender to the will of God and enjoy the kingdom and other facilities of a royal palace. Same thing Arjuna said, because of greed for kingdom and enjoying the royal palace and other things, that is a greed. For that sake, there is no point in killing all these people. Same thing he says, they have been already killed. This is actually truth, which he explains. So you can be, or you be the instrument. Nimitta matram is the word he used. That's all. You are instrument only. So Arjuna's grief is deluded. How? Feeling that he is the killer. So that Krishna has to explain. So law, that is Krishna, in the cosmic form of time, has already destroyed them. That is all the enemies, as well as people in his side, Arjuna's side. So Arjuna is only an instrument. So it is actually a great secret to know that man is not really the doer. Third chapter, 27th verse. There Krishna says, Ahankara Vimudatma Kartahamiti Manyate. I am the doer. That's what he said. People think that they are the doer. And actually, Krishna, the Lord, with his inscrutable, we call it no Maya. That's everything. That is it's with the power of Maya, which consists of the gunas. So everything is done by the gunas. So by giving up the thought of doership, man releases himself from the bondages of karma and he attains the liberated state. So the doership and the enjoyership. So that is what is getting involved in the war and enjoying the royal facilities. So both, if one can drop, that's what Krishna explains. These things have been already done by me. By me means the time, which is a law of karma. We have to clearly understand. When we say I am going to do this, I have done this, all these things, we are the doers. Everywhere the Maya, the uh, the gunas, they only do. We will see in detail in chapter 14 how it works, the gunas. So that is when it is something like that. Is there? That means you are not killing. That his main problem was how I have to kill Bhishma and Drona to win the war, which he feels it's a very difficult job. And one is my guru, and the other is my grandfather, who brought me up, teaching so many things. So this I can't do. So what Krishna said, they have been already killed. The time has come, so they have to go. And in the Nimitta Matram is very important. And not only Arjuna, all of us, whatever we do, it is because of law of karma. And it is, we are used as instrument. Actually, we have many times this is quoted in different ways. Unnishtam, ennishtam, like that. So I am not doing anything. I am being used as an instrument to do things. This idea, if one can understand, there is no guilty feeling at all if it is something painful to do. Or when we do something nice, then also we can't say, I have done this. In third chapter, it is very clearly explained. Whatever you do, if it is successful, if the result is favorable to you, don't get elated. If it is other way, if it is failure, don't get depressed. This is the karma yoga, not just doing job, but by seeing the result, one should not be affected. So this is the main principle. Krishna, right from third, fourth, even in fifth chapter, he explains this. So that is the main principle of this karma yoga. But here, what happened? For Arjuna, Krishna has given that, what is that? Divya Chakshu, means he has purified his mind. So it is not by doing karma yoga and all he got. So it is a temporary, rather, facility or which Krishna has given to him. That means, so it won't last long. So after some time, it may fade. So You can see later in the Mahabharata story, when his son Abhimanyu crumbled, he was so much worried. He went to the extent of committing even suicide. So this particular advice of Krishna is to make him get involved in the war. That is the main thing. And you need not feel bad, or you need not have that grief that I am killing so many people, including my guru and grandfather. So this is the thing, with the real truth which Krishna gives him. So this point, as I told earlier, it's not only for him. This is the practice which one can do when we follow the path of Bhagavad Gita. Absolutely, there won't be any actually grief or worry, dukkha, anytime if it is understood. Nothing is, done or by us. Even thinking, right from thinking, subtle thoughts plus action and all these things, it is already clearly written. And we call it no and all. It's in a negative way. But whatever we do, it is being done through us. This is the truth, which one has to think and that is understand very, very clearly. Then absolutely one is free to but there is no clinging. That is very important. Oh, I must do it. If I don't do, this will happen. That sort of thing. So that should be removed. That is in fact main advice in Bhagavad Gita. Nothing is done by us. Everything is happening. So with this, next few verses we will see with this background. The next sloka is by Sanjay. Sanjay says, Etachritva vachanam keshavasya kritanjalirvepamanah kiriti namaskritva bhuya evaha krishnam sagadgadam bita pranamya. See, the Bhishma and Drona, they cannot be saved. It is that prarabdha. Arjuna really recognized the Lord as karma phala data. Arjuna's attitude changes from, as I mentioned earlier, wonder, that is acharyam, and bhayam, to finally to surrender. That means bhakti. Surrender to the surrender the free will to the law of karma. So that when he does namaskaram, vepamanaha, with trembling hand, Arjuna did namaskaram. That means he has understood Lord Krishna. That is, who is, that is, when you say surrendering to Krishna or Lord, he is surrendering to law of karma. So, bhuya evaha Krishnam namaskritva, that is the word he used. Then, sagadgadam, with choked voice. This is the transformation that is taking place. Arjuna maturity, as I told earlier, it is little artificial, because the Divya Chakshu was given by Krishna, and it won't work for long. If we get it by Karma Yoga, fear will not be there at all, because in Karma Yoga, when we practice good or bad, this opposite, success or failure, if they are seen with samabhava. In fact, that is the principle of karma yoga. So slowly he gets that particular, his mind. He will see that it is really unaffected. It becomes so simple. So the fear completely vanishes. This is what in Sanjaya's this thing explained. Then Arjuna says, Sthane rishikesh tava prakritya jagad brushyat tyanurajyate rakshamsi bhitani disho dravanti sarve namasyanti cha siddha sangaha. So he explains the singing about your name, your glories. People are delighted, but some rakshamsi, that is rakshasas, devils, are frightened and they run away. And Siddha Sangha, the Siddhar, those people, or you can say even Jnanis, they are glad to pray with folded hands. So the narrow-mindedness means what? See, really, the self, is all-pervading. When we think that this I am the body, it gets narrowed because I am everywhere. Not only this body, all bodies are in me. That's again we saw in, I think, 9th chapter. And the expanded mind, once it gets expanded, the bhakti and the humility automatically takes place. That's why the jnanis, they are humble and they also do namaskara to the Lord. Here, Lord means that all-pervading presence, non-dual presence. See, the actual I is infinite. This one has to clearly see. Again, this was earlier explained. And when we get attached to our family, wife, children, father, all relatives, and whatever happens to them, it gives us joy, and of course, the joy is also mixed with sorrow. So to leave this delusion and clinging, there is a Thirukural sloka. I think last time also somebody mentioned. Patruga, patran kai patruga, appatrai patru vidarku. So the patru is that attachment. To leave that, you get attached to the patratran means what? The person or the God who doesn't have any attachment. So get to understand him. Patruga, why? To leave this attachment, because the narrow mind, which thinks the family and the particular place where he lives, house or street or whatever it is, that's all. It's not the mind is not expanded. That means expanded means what? The feeling that I am the body, I am the doer, that will drop. So mind gets expanded. So then this is very essential. That patru vidarka means you get you attach to God. That is patratran kai patruga. Why? To be my attachment, patru. So here it is what is happening to Arjuna. So he somehow got Krishna with him, and because of that, slowly, and because of his advice also, in fact, the Bhagavad Gita is full of that. If you see the Rakshasas who do not appreciate dharma, They are afraid. So when we see him, he runs away. Like people who do not follow rules or law, let's say red light and all these things, they are afraid of police. It is something like that. People who follow law of karma, they won't have fear at all. Similarly, the Siddha Purushas, that is what here it's mentioned, or Jnanis, they know what is what. They understood. So they also do namaskaram to you, accepting that choiceless situation, whatever comes, and do namaskara. Namaskara doing means accepting whatever happens. That means to surrender to the will of God. Then next sloka, he puts it nicely. What is that? 38. त्वमादिदेव पुरुषः पुराणः त्वमस्य विश्वस्य परं निधानम् वेतासि वेद्यं च परं च धाम त्वया ततं विश्वमनन्तरूप. This that is, you are the cause, you are the effect, and you are beyond both. You are Karya Rupa, Karana Rupa, Karya Karana Vilakshana. That is, you are transcended both. See this, if you see next few verses, what Arjuna has understood, it's very clear. Let me see whether next is 30. It is 38, 39. That's gone, is it? Hmm. 39. वायुर्यमोऽग्निर्वर्णः शशाङ्कः प्रजापतिस्त्वं प्रतिस्त्वं प्रपितामहंश्च नमो नमस्ते सुसहस्रकृत्य पुनश्च भूयोऽपि नमो नमस्ते. Again, he is praising because he has understood. You are Vayu, Agni, Yama, Varuna, Shashanka, the moon, Prajapati, and the great grandfather. A thousandfold salutation be to you. Salutation be to you again and again. So this is a clear understanding which Arjuna has now got. So he is now, in the wordings you can see, he clearly has understood everything is the Lord only. That means the Krishna, so far he has been treating him as his friend. That sloka also comes in 41, 42 and all. So if you see, Nama Purastata Prashtutaste Namostute Sarvata Eva Sarva Ananta Viryam Idam Viktramas Sarvam Samapnoshi Tatosi Sarva. He says, salutation to you in front and to your behind. Salutation be to you all round. O Lord, you are of limitless power and infinite courage. You pervade everything. Hence, you are everything. Again, when we say you are everything, it is, again, this has to be clearly understood. The what we see as world, it's all there in mind. Mind means individual mind. Individual mind sees whichever is in front of us. When you see, when you understand the mind, that is, everything is in the mind. Normally, when we say, I am seeing, how does it happen? We have discussed earlier. The image in the which we see in the eye, it gets transformed to the brain to optical nerves, and the brain, which is actually a solid form of mind, is a brain. So when it is in contact with mind all the time, so the image is formed in the mind. What we see is the image of what we think we have seen outside is we are seeing the image of that in the mind. That means what? Everything is in the mind only. This is that Maya. We think that things are outside because we think this is I. The body is I. Because of that ignorance, we think that everything we are outside and I am able to see. No, the seeing takes place in the mind. So when the mind is totally withdrawn, as in sleep, deep sleep, even when the eyes are gently open, we won't be able to see anything. This is the proof of that. The mind is required to see. Similarly, when you are seriously attending to some talk, interesting talk, in fact, you might have seen all things uh, other than the speaker or the dais and other thing, they uh, they go out of focus, at least to some extent. So, and if it goes beyond the that concentration, if it is too much, so much, it will even vanish. This, see, when we do meditation, initially closing the eyes, afterwards open the when we open. Actually, if the mind is totally absorbed, that's what we call samadhi. The external things are not seen at all. That means it. How we have to further imagine everything is in the mind, including our body. See, when we say world or seeing mean other trees and other things, we think we are separate. We are also part of that. So when in the mind, which is which contains all the cosmos of the world and whatever you see, they are all in uh, the mind, our body, the world, everything. They are all projected. So the seer, seen, everything is that only. That's why here says, uh, you are everything. That is, Sarva Vyapi. That means everything is in him only. This I, which sees, it is a part of that thing which is in the total mind. That we have to clearly see. Only in total mind, it has got so much space. Otherwise, we won't be able to see the sun or the moon, which is so far away. It cannot within our head. It cannot accommodate that distance and everything, even small things. So it's our mind is really so big. That itself is sarva vyapi. Only thing it consists of, in addition to things, thoughts and other things which are continuously they are there. So this uh, illusion or confusion, one has to um, not clearly understand why they are happening, and what we see means really uh, what is that operation, or the seeing means what it is taking place in the mind. So the mind, it need not have for it the eyes are not required, because from the image which it got through eyes, it can see. Formed means it understands, that is seeing. இதுல வரும்னா அது அக்ஷரமணமாலையில் there is a ஸ்லோகா, கண்ணுக்கு கண்ணாய் கண்ணின்றி காண்பவன் யார் என்று பார் அருணாச்சலான்னு வரும். So it doesn't need eyes. So what that the image, when it is formed, it understands. So that we call as cognition. Really, but we think that we are seeing. So the mind in us, it understands and we feel we are seeing. So this is another very subtle point. One has to do, mananam and rather reflect on this point and try to understand. It is not like number. We always compare with the mirror or water, where external objects are there and it falls its image, or we see in the water or in the mirror. Here it is not like that. There is no separate object which is outside and it is reflected in the mind. It appears to be like that, but everything is within the mind. Always it is there. So the what you call the human or even animals, they individually they feel that something is there. So I am seeing and all. It is all happening within us. So this particular now the truth, one has to do really reflect on that and understand. That alone is there. So once it is understood, the individuality goes. So that's what we call as self-realization. And when this idea, that I am this seer or I am the doer and I am the enjoyer, if it drops, the mind alone is there. That means the expanded mind. So for that, if the body consciousness gets dropped, then there is nothing actually. That's why in 9th chapter, I think 4, 5, 6, initially Krishna will say, everything is within me, but I am not in them. That is from the point of view of that individual, and you can say the Ishvara. But when you take the total mind, which is the functional expression of the consciousness, from that point of view, nothing is there. Nothing is there. That's why he will say, Krishna says, everything is in me, but I am not in them. Afterwards, he will say, really, nothing is in me. That is the ultimate truth. So this, when Krishna explains, to that extent, that's why he says, I am Kala, Kalosmi. So the time and space, it's created to, to project a world through Maya. So in Maya, the sattvic aspect is the light, and the tamoguna is the the rajoguna is the thing which projects. Projects means what? They gives a feeling that world is there, and tamoguna thinks I am seeing. So this is what is happening. Nothing is done by us. When we say, oh, our main this thing is to drop kartatvam or bhoktartvam or doership and enjoyership. Really, it is not. I don't have doership nor enjoyership. And I am not doing. So this idea, Krishna, I don't know where he said in, I think Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, I think. I am not able to tell you what is which chapter and which sloka. There he says, Karyam karomi, na kichit aham karomi. I am doing initially. That means in the Vyavaharika level, in the interactional level. But really I am not doing, because I am always that which is, it's motionless. It is achala. And the world, with the projected world, that Maya, that is dynamic part, like Shiva, Shakti. There are so many description on that. So this ultimate truth, because he has understood Arjuna, he is able to say this: you are all pervading and you are everything. So to that extent, the Vishwarupa, as he got this knowledge, Vishwarupa plus what Krishna explained, especially in that 32 and 33, Sloka 32 and 33. So that understanding is it's very important for him because he could proceed with the war. So this ultimate truth he has understood. So whatever he has expressed in the Sloka 40, 41, 42 and all, it is it shows us that Arjuna has clearly understood at this now at this stage. So if you see 41, 42 also, Saketi matva prasabham yaduktam he Krishna he Yadav he Saketi ajanana mahimanam tavedam maya paramatyat pranaye nasvapi. So this 41. Regarding you as my friend, expressions like O Krishna, O Yadava, O friend, O Saketi, etc., have been rudely, indifferently, or affectionately uttered by me, who did not know this glory of yours. It's a so now he has understood. So he himself is feeling, oh, we uh, behaved with him or we treated him like this and that. So he says, uh, you because I did not know your glory to this extent. So in 42 also, yeah, 41, 42. यच्चावहार्तामसकृतोऽसि विहारस्य जैनु तनु न भोजनेषु एकोदमप्याच्युततत्समक्षम् तच्छामये त्वमहमप्रमेयम्. So this, see this. Moreover, for the sake of fun, you have been slighted by me while playing, reclining, sitting, or eating, either in privacy or in public. O Krishna, for that I seek forgiveness from you, the incomprehensible one. That means it is very difficult to understand you completely. So now, with this understanding, he is able to say this. Also, without knowing your glories, I rather treated you or behaved with you in so many ways, he explains. So now I feel for that. So he is asking for pardon. So, I seek your forgiveness. That's what it says here. So this 4 or 5, slokas mainly explains the how the Vishwarupa Darshana and Krishna's explanation, that is important, makes Arjuna understand completely really who is Krishna. So right from the beginning he told Kalosmi. That is also very important, a word. And Nimitta Matram, that is also, we are all, Nimitta Matram means through us all these things are getting done. Not only now, right from the Rama's time and all. So Rama, how he killed Ravana and all these things. It's not, even though we say he was an expert, there is no doubt. But because see, even the Sita also, even though that's why he Sita was made to ask for that golden deer. So that is actually the beginning of this particular thing. So there, Ravana has to be killed, just like here, to uh, adharma from the people of Sri Lanka. For that, this was his mission. So for that, all these things happen. So all these people, Krishna, Rama, Lakshmana, Sita, and Jambavan or Hanuman, everything, they're all instrument. This and once we know the story completely, we understand. Oh, that's why right from the beginning it starts. Why Kaikeyi behaved like that? Why he was sent to. So these are all part of that particular operation. Operation killing Ravana. So these are all. So fear in our now with our knowledge, it is very difficult. Why I come to this place? Why I am? So everything is preordained. This has to be. There is no other way to explain because these are all. See, many even teachers they talk about free will and all these things. Except Ramana. Ramana says everything is preordained. Even talking, taking tea, everything is. But it's all so minor. We don't notice. But everything suddenly when it happens is for some mission in the totality. So this we call as even though it is time that the Atma and Brahman. So Brahman, or generally we say the total, this one, and Atma, both are actually same. And the understanding of you are that Tatvamasi is to say Tat Tvam is what, Tat is what, and both are same. So here, this to understand it itself, it will take quite a long time. In the sense, um, see, I have a particular body, and this Tvam. When you say Tvam, this body, it's what we call the Achyartham of you is body, but really the Lakshyartham, that is the implied meaning is the Atma. If you see that everywhere the Atma is the implied meaning, Lakshyartham. So when you see that everything is same, including Ishvara, but Krishna with his body, with flute or whatever it is. So it's you can't say I am uh, Krishna from the body point of view. That is Achyartham. But whereas in Atma level, both are same. There is I forgot the song, Hanuman, he recites that at body level, I am your dasa, and at mind level, I am a part, and at the next level, the ultimate level, I am you. I forgot the wording. It is a very famous this one. So like that depends on the understanding, and this should be our aim also. Reading Bhagavad Gita, the Arjuna, it is maybe different, but for us, uh, yeah, our getting clarity in this particular thing, and how it changes the even though ego is going to be there till then, but it becomes we can call it enlightened ego. So it doesn't have any doubt about the self or body and all these things. So once it is understood, even this mind, it's not so easily affected. So whatever happens in the world or individual, they really, we understand that they don't affect me at all. If at all you say it is affected, mean maybe bodily, physically, but that doesn't uh, uh, mean that he is affected. Means what? The mind, because it is very clear about its, how it is operating and what is it, and when the uh, thoughts are totally absent, at what level it is, and all this once it is understood, we call this only we call this as the self-realization means clearly understanding what I am. So this uh, Slokas in 11 and further, especially if we go to 12 and all. So Arjuna's thoughts and clarity over this point, they slowly, the clarity, in fact, it becomes better and better. So at the end, that's why he is able to say that I can not only this war, I can fight any number of wars, something like that, and he does it. So this particular, the Bhagavad Gita, the 700 slokas, slowly it takes us to that level. If we are able to apply Gita in day-to-day life, in fact, that for that effort is required, and we have to remember some of this teaching, especially some of few slokas. Then the application becomes simpler. Otherwise, why it is not possible? Again, in the gunas, even some people are able to apply to a great extent. Some people are not able to, because that sattvic level, one has to mean what? When we say one, it is a combination of gunas. Here, especially tamo and rajoguna. That we have to, that has to be changed. I shouldn't say even we have. How it happens in, that's why the karma yoga, jnana yoga, and all. What we do to we chant slokas or like Vishnu Sahasranam Mandal. This vibration can take one slowly to sattvic level. When we are in sattvic level, see, even now, once in a while, we are. That's why we are interested in Gita class or understanding Gita or other scriptures. Otherwise, we won't have. In fact, majority, it's also there in the Gita earlier stanzas. In thousand, only one or two will be interested. Out of that, again, a small percentage only really puts full effort and understands. So this is, again, a law of nature only, law of karma. So even though nothing, if you are not able to complete it in this janma, so he goes to appropriate, he gets, born again in appropriate family. And again, further, he understands and he is released from birth and death. That is the ultimate, because they are not there at all. Yeah, that's why we call it released. So this clarity he gets slowly. And if you see further chapters 12 and 13, 14 and all, further explanation, and this is given. 15, no, till the end actually. 18th also very important slokas are there. Actually, for the question of Arjuna directly, 18th, they have 3-4 slokas will completely explain. But suddenly when we go there, it will not be possible to understand it. That's why so many chapters, so many verses. So Arjuna also appropriate questions he puts across and gets clarification. So that way, Gita really helps us when we also put effort to understand it thoroughly. Thoroughly means not meaning alone, but how to apply it in day-to-day life. That is very important. So this, especially 11th chapter, it looks as if it is only praise. No, especially that some of these wordings are very important to understand. This itself, the 32, 33, make the real truth very clear. And so that there is no guilt feeling when we do certain things. I'm not doing, I'm not doing. So this is all happening. Even to Duryodhana, in fact, he says that I have understood, because he also, he was taught by Drona and others. So he knows the truth, but I am not able to put it into use because of, he knows that it's not that I don't know. So I am made to be like that. He will say that. So when he was talking to Krishna at the end, so this particular clarity is required. So everybody, whether he is a good person with sattvic gunas and all, or other side, he is not doing that. Gunas are doing this understanding. If that fellow is exposed to that, truth, he will also understand. So he won't feel bad for being like that, greedy or and all these things. So this one has to clearly, the banana is very important. Why or so things become clearer and clear, and our the affectation, one will clearly see that he is not affected. That is the fact. So and neither he does anything nor gets affected. This the chapter by chapter when we go is, as I told you earlier, 12, 13 and all explains so well. 14 also, the principle of gunas, how it acts and all this thing. Gunatraya vibhagayo gunava. So it's all wonderful, and which it makes us use the teaching uh, every time when we interact with the world. So with this,